Welcome to Colney Talk Podcast.
Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. You are listening to Colney Talk Podcast, a byte-size show. I'm your host, Alex. First-time guest, thank you and welcome. And to my returning listeners, always good to have you back. On the show, I pick out my top 3 Arsenal performers in the game and one player, the other guy who just didn't play well enough or had a poor game. Arsenal took a trip to King's Stadium to face Leicester. It was a 1-0 victory that should have been 3-0 or something about that. There were so many positives than concerns in the game. In the first half, Arsenal going for the typical fast starts, dominant pass rhythm, pickups, Zinchenko joining the party in midfield to get the push in the attack. I like the change in front with Trossard simply because the connection on the right with Martinelli was really gaining some momentum. It was really showing itself. We missed a good scoring opportunity in the first 5 minutes by Xhaka, having so much space and time to fire a shot, but it was instead a body blocking the shot, so we just lost that. A fraction of a second is a minute too long in the box. That's just what it is. We just have to get better. The game flow for Arsenal was good. I liked the way we were moving the ball like we typically do. It could be asking too much from Xhaka, but his attacking effect just needs to really get sharper or tighter, because in and around the edge of Leicester's box, he was really blunt. I'm talking about Xhaka not using his powerful left shot when he's in that position. Add to the fact that he's not fast enough to pick up passes, so those kinds of things really make us lose those opportunities within the box. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing him. I do not want him on the bench. He's such a crucial player for the first 11. He has to be more involved with direct shots. He has to take some of those shots. He does take some second guesses, passing to a much more attacking threat than himself, which I understand, but he has that authority now within the box to take those shots, which he should. Even if you dominate a lot of possession in the game like we do, and you have lesser attempts in the box, it would not mean much at all for the score sheets, and the chances chances are the opponent will do exactly that with the little chance they'll have when there's some sort of a fast break or there's some sort of a loose ball that they catch up on. That single chance is what will put them on the score sheets. It's happened to us in the past, but we just have to really capitalize on the way we dominate within their box, within their half, and then get into the box to really finish things up. We had formidable passes escape us in the final third. It was just very frustrating. Anyone could conclude differently from the performance based on how much we lacked where it mattered the most. Very good interlinking passes, as I mentioned, between Martinelli and Trossard. That's what you want to see if it was Eddie that was in that position. Hopefully he can look at this and maybe improve it a little bit more with his link up between himself and Martinelli. This isn't a confirmation bias here. It's like you can see the movements happen between both players. Most of Arsenal's goal attempt was from the left. However, the boys were playing serious football with their intricate passes until the final block or interception. Yeah, you've heard me say that already. I mean, we just need to get that level back up again. Jorginho, Zinchenko, and Odegaard, they were orchestrating the ball pressures throughout the game. The goal was coming in. What a beauty from Trossard. That goal was just really, really nice. Of course, who else have we talked about in the past 4 weeks now? VAR. They just want to be part of the attention in some way. I don't understand how and why this is still a topic of conversation. In my opinion, that was a really bad call to deny that goal. Add to that, blatant foul on Saka for a penalty that was not given. So that's just the inconsistency continues to show itself. This is really poor officiating, and is definitely not part of today's game. We have talked about so many of these mistakes time and again. The so-called actions and things that they do behind the scenes does not translate immediately on the pitch on how they should manage this, because for far too long we've dealt with this, and something's got to give. Second half, we instantly opened our account with that beautiful assist from Trossard and a nice goal by Martinelli. About time we cut through passes like that and gives us that chance to score because we stepped up our level. But then again, then we had that very scary moment on Martinelli's injury, something we did not want, especially when it was showing an injury around his knee. It's a very scary situation. Thank God he was okay, and such a painful step on his knee, and that just not a good sight. Then we had some gasp moments on our end, seeing Leicester attempts on goal. The attempts, and I'm talking about the chances that they had. Thankfully, it didn't really come to fruition because those would have been goals, or it would have led to something. It would have led to goals actually. So those were the nervy moments in the game, and thankfully they were just spots. We did raise our level in the second half. Our second goal was an offside, rightfully so. So there's nothing to complain there. Though we didn't have this kind of goal attempt in the first half. Yes, levels are always, swindling either high or low between the first and second. But in the second half, we did really raise things up. We did hold Leicester hostage in their box. Arsenal had so many options around the edge. We just did so many things, and the flow was really good, and that helped with the intensity. And it was a comfortable handle in the game. Only if we had another goal to show for it. So it's part of the positive, yes, but you can't just escape not mentioning why the end product for these situations and dominations that we have within their box ends only in just resetting and trying to try to score again. These are moments where you don't want to keep the opponent on the chances. If it's a 0-0 score or is a 1-0 score and trying to hold that lead, I just typically don't like that. Nobody does, but we can't. I mean, this was Leicester and the opportunities and the way the game was dictated by Arsenal. We should have scored a second goal. We should have done more. It's a much talent thing than the struggles. I'm not expecting Leicester to just lay down and have us roll them over and just move on with the game. But these are chances that we have created. These are the dominance that we have imposed on them. So it's for us to go and finish it off with goal scoring chances. Yes, with the comfortable handling the game, we managed to cause ourselves a few problems on the back with our passes to get out of the press, because Leicester, they kind of like pick things up even after we scored that first goal. So they were probably trying to respond and score their own goal. So we were having some very shaky moments there. While I like the quality Jorginho brings, he slows the game down way too much for me, for my interest. And it looks like he's a player that also that is easily targeted and stealing the ball from, because he had that a few times. Yes, he distributes the ball in front very well, brilliantly, and he breaks, all these backline passes and does great things with the players and how balls moves. But he's also someone that he can be really pressed, and he can really be the press target. I've seen that a few times, and he lost the ball a few times. Thankfully, we recovered and got things back into our rhythm again. As I mentioned, thankfully for our reliable defenders slotted in and having to readjust when we lose the ball, it goes to show that we have learned from our mistakes in the past. So hopefully we don't lose the ball as much in very uncomfortable and precarious situations when we are trying to maintain the lead or chasing the lead. So I'll just leave that there. Odegaard lost his feet with another chance when Eddie came in to play, and these are again other chances that we're not being very decisive. We won the game, yes. These are things I just have to call out. We just need to get the sharpness back. Odegaard was good. I wish he was sharper, because this game gave him that opportunity to do that. I mean, the players were there to really make those things work, but hey, that's just how we had things in front of us. We would have been in a much better outlook with the way the game was going, but hey, we just turned into game management, and it started to look like the midfield was running out of gas, which is why when Partey came in as a replacement, it was just clearly to just neutralize the situation that we were dealt with from Leicester's attack and trying to absorb the press that they were bringing with us. So, hey, another smart move there from the game tactics, and changing their situations were really not looking very good in our favor. So, comfortable in dealing with that pressure and making smart decisions all in the end. So, a positive win, and I'll leave it for that. So, on to my top 3 players in the game. First player, Big Gabby. Great defending and superb blocking in a few chances Leicester had. He is the steady defender in our backline, and he presses well to our attacking section of plays. Another big game by this Big Gabby player, who's such a great guy, and he has been showing his consistency while still trying to score a couple of headers whipped into Leicester's box when we had some set pieces. So, great to continue to enjoy how good he plays for us. Second player, Jorginho. As I said earlier, he just distributes excellent passes, in several line-breaking passes to control and keep our attacking on top. He is just very influential, as Xhaka is, leading the players, directing them in different position and ball directions. He does that real well. It's very evident, and it takes a bit of pressure from Odegaard, or perhaps when he's not even on the field. So those are very good situations to have these other very good players help influence our game situation and lead us to leading. We had so many chances to strike when we had, but we missed it. A lot of that motion had to do with Jorginho's ball placement, and he's adding that to our game DNA. So it was a very good performance by him. And to my final top player, Zinchenko, his ball handling and passes, I can't say so much about it. He's so good, and there was just so much he did to unlock actions for the game. While Arsenal, as a unit, was not decisive in the box, Zinchenko was a driver to unsettling Leicester's backline. He caused a lot of confusion with his movements as he just transitions from the left back to midfield, and simply was an effective spare midfielder to keep our attacking on a very high level. So I just liked seeing that, and he was our honorary captain for the game. So that was really beautiful by the team and how they really presented that for him. My other guy for this game was Xhaka, just on the basis of his sharpness and link up that was just lacking with the front four. He was not like his usual Xhaka player, but it would just probably drop down a notch in my view. Maybe that's harsh, but it's just based on the expectation then the game that was slow for him to suit how he can kind of contribute and effect from the position that he was in. He could come in and just score or shoot, and he had the attempt on goal and it was blocked, but he had he had a few more chances, and he could have done that extra to get there, but it wasn't that for him today. So he's just my guy, and that's just really on the basis I look at that. Folks, that is a wrap for another bite-size podcast. My top 3 players: Big Gabby, Jorginho, and Zinchenko, and Xhaka, the other guy. This is another great win for us to enjoy, folks. Our next game is already here, so until then, I'll talk to you later. Take care.